Appreciate it. First, we give honor to God, Jesus Christ, who's the head of my life. Thank you, Lord. Please bless this conversation. Next, we do a mental health check. Are you okay today? Do you need to talk about it? If anyone ever needs to talk about anything, just email me at moepodtalks@gmail.com. That's MOEPODTALKS@gmail.com. All right, so let's get started. Being a stepdad for me was one of the hardest things I have ever done. The reason why it was hard, simply because the way I was raised in a home is different the way she believes her kids should be raised in a home. Not that she was raised different the way I was, because that was not the case. She believed the kids should be raised differently. So let me give you some examples to try to make myself clear. When I was in the home with my mom, I was not allowed to do a lot. I didn't have freedom of speech. I can't express how I feel to my parents. I can't say, dang. I can't say, shoot, you a lie. I gotta say, you telling a story. I can't say you lying. I can't say, dang, I been and got slapped in my mouth. I was not allowed to just come home from school and go outside. I had to come home from school, do homework, take out my school shoes, my school clothing, make sure my chores is done, make sure the garbage is taken out before I'm even allowed to go outside. And if it's too late when I do all that, I can't go outside. I can't just go in the refrigerator and eat whatever I want to eat when I want to eat it. I just can't pour a bowl of cereals in the middle of the day and eat it. That was for breakfast. She was raised the same way. However, she allowed her kids to say, you a lie. Dang. Come on, Ma. I don't feel like it right now. Whatever the case may be. That was okay. But for me, it was not okay. So therefore, it was difficult for me to raise hers the way I was raised. Okay? So she felt as though I treated my kids differently the way I treated her kids, which that is not true at all. She felt that way because when my kids finally came around, I took my kids and her kids, we all go to the park together and we have fun, right? Her complaint was that I only do that when my kids come around. And that's not entirely true. I say entirely because I didn't see my kids when I left the house for my kids. They didn't come around me as much because the mother, oh, he left you for them kids there. You see, he's taking care of them other woman kids, but he ain't helping taking care of you. All them lies bitter mothers do when their family breaks up. Okay? And I'm trying to word this in a way and not pointing fingers at nobody. But the facts are the facts. A lot of bitter mothers say things when a man get with another woman who have kids. So my kids start feeling some type of way. So they stop coming around like that. And their mom stopped allowing them to come around because they're like, when you come around, she treats you bad and stuff like that, which I never seen her treat any of my kids bad, but I don't know. But anyway, when my kids did come around, yes, all of us did things together because this is my time with my kids. Ain't no telling when, this is going to happen again. So, granted, I could have went to see my kids, and I did. I go over there very often, but that became a problem. The problem was now the woman I'm with, oh, you still fucking your baby mama? You still fucking your baby mama? Oh, y'all talk every morning, which I wasn't fucking my baby mama, but we did talk in the morning because we always made decisions on our kids. My kid's mom never made a sole decision about what school should my kids go to, or they want to do this and here. What you think about this? We always made a decision together when it came to my kids, because we both are 100% involved in our kids. But by me doing that, that caused a problem with the woman I'm with, because they didn't like each other. That became a problem with them. So therefore, she was saying, you still fucking your baby mama, which I was not fucking my baby mama. Oh, man. Back on the kids, y'all. So, the woman I was with felt I was treating her kids differently from mine. Because my kids had good grades, her kids' grades was okay. I wore my kids with things to require the good grades, and I didn't award her kids as much for good grades. The good grades they did have, that was cool, but it wasn't where you get this big reward. Now, let me explain to you what I mean by a big reward. What I mean by that is that if you got a D, to me, you're not getting really good grades. You got a D. That's a mark against you. A U is unacceptable. That's not gonna fly. So therefore, I don't want you to do mediocre work because I don't reward mediocre. I give them something to shoot for. Okay, not saying I gave them nothing, but because that's not true. And to let you know about that, 7 kids, y'all, 7 kids. I brought them all. I taught them all how to drive. Something younger one for my stepson. He ain't that age yet. But I bought them all their first car. Okay, so check this out. When my kids came around, we all went to the park. We all did things. Okay. When it's just me and her kids, we have our one-on-one discussions. We did things, but it was just totally different. So I didn't do as much because when it comes to discipline, she say, you can't discipline my child. You ain't gonna whoop with my kids because you don't whoop your own kids. What? I do whoop my kids. What are you talking about? You was in the home when my kids was in the home when all of us together. You was not there. You can't say that. Well, I can tell you don't whoop them because of the way you treat them. You spoil them kids. I don't spoil my kids. When my kids do good, they get rewarded for doing good. I raised them the way my mama raised me. What are you talking about? She found out later on, wow, you do whoop your kids. Yes, I do. I get in their ASS, and I will to this day. My kids was raised the way my mama has raised me, and that was a very structured, tight environment. They don't got freedom of speech to tell me how they feel when they're at a young age like that. No, you're going to do what I tell you to do. They wasn't up in grown folks' face while they talking. No, it's not going to do that. But anyway, off mine, back on the situation being a stepdad. And so, she say, I'm allowed to discipline her kids. Then she said, you're not allowed to discipline my kids. So after a while, I just stopped doing it all. I just was there. She said, now you just there. You ain't participating. Well, when I try to participate, you tell me no. And the kids hearing that, oh, whatever my mama says goes, not what Pop says goes. So therefore, I can tell you to do what I do all day. You go to your mama and your mama said, you know, you can do this and that. So you see how it is? Being a stepdad for me was the hardest job I have ever done because I had to find that balance. I can't beat them like I got beat or how I beat them mine. I can't do that. Okay? So therefore, you take your kids to another relative and have them doing it, which they not putting no one down, but I think that's wrong. Okay? So she started complaining about I'm just there. I don't participate like I should be participating. And I'm trying to, however, but we keep bumping heads. First you tell me just whoop the kids, then you say don't whoop the kids. Then her auntie and everybody, well, you need to be more involved and whoop them kids. Help her with them kids. I try to help her with them kids. She don't want me to help her with these kids. Because the way I do things, the way I know how to do things, which I have a very successful way of doing it. All right? And now, you might ask, where is the biological parents? And guess what, y'all? The biological parents was around. I remember one time, specifically, we got a big argument about Christmas toys. I had brought her kids some Christmas toys. But hold that thought. Let me put something refresh in your memory, okay? Not refresh, but let me tell you something. My income was the only income. I was making what? At that time, I think $12.50 an hour. I got 4 biological kids I had to do for her. And then I got 3 step kids I had to do for her. And I had to pay all the bills in the house. that 12 something does not go a very long way at all. So I just can't stop doing for my children to help my stepkids like that. Because my kids need things too. And your kid's dad is involved in their life. So I used to say, why can't you help get your kid's dad to step in and help out? They ain't gonna do nothing. They just want to get me. Like my son's father, he ain't gonna do nothing for his son unless he trying to fuck me. So forgetting him, I talk to them. I talk to every last single one of them. Of course, they got different stories, but I believe her because I've seen it throughout the years. I specifically remember a time I told dude, help me pay your son's phone bill. I only need a couple of dollars. He told his son then, I ain't giving that nigga nothing. If his mama would have asked me, I would have did it. The other dude, the other baby daddy, he, oh man, because of my income at that time, I had to pay for her school lunches until the voucher, whatever it is, come in, so get free school lunches. I asked this dude, can you help me with your daughter's school lunches? Can you give me a couple of dollars for your daughter's school lunch? Because I have to pay for this. I don't got it. He don't never got it. I don't got it. I don't got it. Now, he's 100% involved in his daughter's life, but he never have nothing when it comes to his daughter. As far as the driver license, everything. So, dude, man, this kind of pisses me off a little bit. And I know once she hear this video, she going to get upset, whatever case may be, but it's the truth. The truth is the truth. He would not help me at all when it came to his daughter financially. Okay? The youngest, the other dude, his dad really wasn't in his life, but at least he respected me enough to, well, Maurice, if it's okay, can I see my son? Can I do this? Can I do that? Yes, that's cool. So I have no issues with that one, all right? Back on what I'm talking about now. So therefore, I felt like I was just a bank because when it came to their biological father, it seemed like he get the praise, but when it came to other things, I get put down low. You know what I mean? So I felt like, oh, I'm just a bank. So when you need stuff, you come to Maurice. But when it comes to sole decisions, no, it's between the mama and the biological father, which is some bullshit to me. Because I'm there, they're not there. Now, back on the Christian stuff I'm talking about, we got into it one time because the biological dad finally decided to come around again after so many years and want to take his son out someplace, and she agreed without consulting me. I've been here for years at this time. I'm like, well, how you know I ain't had no plans for him? She said, well, you never had no plans for him. I said, well, I really was trying to make some plans for him, but at least you could have consulted me. And she said, quote unquote, look, I always told you if my son's father want to be in their life, they could. Okay, I got no problem with your son's father being in their life. However, when you make these decisions, him being out the home for a couple of days, I think it would be a nice common courtesy that you consult to the person who's supposed to be the leader of this household. At least let me know, well, what do you think about this? Especially when you say he only come around to pretend like he want to be with his son, but he end up fucking you. Oh, man, y'all. Especially when it comes to that. So what I've done, I took the kids' Christmas toys back to the store. I said, well, then hell, if that's the case, then let them buy the Christmas toys then. Because I'm tired of struggling. I've got to provide for mine and yours too. But now he just happened to come around and do these things like this, and now you just up and do it without consulting me? I felt some type of way. So yes, I took them back to the store. My niece and I'm talking about, well, don't do that, uncle, don't do that. Just go ahead and do it anyway. But I'm sick and tired of feeling like I'm not appreciative, I'm not appreciated, and I'm just a bank. Oh, man. But anyway, I'm telling you the truth. Being a stepdad for me, what is the hardest thing I have ever done. Okay, let's go on. So I taught them all how to drive a car. I bought them all their first car, and I told them, I try to tell them, always speak the truth. I don't care how bad your truth looks or whatever the case may be, stand on the truth. So now they began to be around by 18 years old, 16 years old, and I told them all, some listened, some didn't. I said, let's go to Educators Credit Union and open your account up. And now you start working at the age of 15 years old, between 15 and 16 years old, and you had your account up, so by the time you turn 18 years old, you can start building your credit up. So because with educators, they give you a $500 credit card to help build your credit up. All of my kids listen. They did exactly what I told them to do because they didn't have a choice, because I'm the father. Either you do it or else, because I know I've been there, done that. I was raised very poorly. My mom had to take my brother and sister to the store and feed them out the store. So I know what I'm talking about. And they did it, and they got perfect credit. Great. I told the other ones. Only one did it, but, he's, and the purpose of doing it, to practice, learn how to balance your money out, to balance it. The other ones didn't do it, never did it. Because I can't put my foot down and say, you better do this. I can't do that. Only can give advice. So at this time, as being a stepdad, I'm only able to give advice to you. I can't make you do it. All right? So that was one of her complaints, about I treat my kids differently than I treat hers, which has never, ever, ever, ever been the case. I treat them all the same. I gave them the same teaching. I taught them everything. Now, check this out. The problem that bothers me is that when it comes to their biological father, it's like most of them, mainly one of them, get praise. They get praise, but they ain't put in the money. Not even the time. Only one put in the time is her oldest child. But yet, when it comes to financial, he can't provide. He's never there. He's never there. Oh, I don't got it. And I think that's bullshit, because I didn't have it either. I didn't have it a whole lot of times. But I did what I do to take care of my family. And spend all the, man, I'm telling you, dude. Oh, my God. It's very emotional for me, y'all. But anyway, that's one of the hardest things I've done. And this is no script, whatever. I'm just going straight from the memory, straight from the dome. This is my testimony, all right? Could I have done a lot of things better? I probably could have. But at this time, this is what I knew to do. Go to work, pay bills, take care of the bills in the house, do the best I can do for my children, all right? So I stopped spending a lot of majority of time with my kids. Their mom actually got some type of court order where my kids can't come around her. Now, I can admit, my kids' biological mother started the whole thing with my kids, because we all used to really have fun together, But she felt like I left the home to take care of another woman, her kids, and that wasn't the case. My youngest daughter told me, she said, Daddy, I don't know if I want a relationship with you. I'm like, why? My youngest daughter said, because you left me. You left me, and I feel like I lost my dad when you started spending time with another woman and her kids. So you walked out the house, you left me. I said, baby girl, that's not what happened. That's not the case. I would never lose you. I would never leave you. I was forced out the home. She said, ain't nobody put no gun to your head and told you to leave. I said, no, but it was just like it. And I told her what happened, which is going to be another video. How your mom messed around on me, and I stayed 5 years after she done messed around on me. But I need to be happy too. And I see it wasn't going to work, so I had to leave the house. I had to. Don't my feelings count for anything? She said, that didn't happen, Daddy. That didn't happen. I'll tell y'all detail what happened on a whole other thing. I'm like, that did happen. I said, ask your mama. She's right there. Ask her. She said, I'm not going to ask her that, Daddy. I'm not going to ask her that. But you are obligated financially to me. Don't you think you obligated financially to me? I said, well, I'm not obligated to anything, because a lot of fathers give up their rights as a parent. I'm not obligated for anything. However, I feel like though I'm obligated to lead you in the right direction. And I'm glad we had this conversation, because no wonder why when I was teaching you how to drive and this and that, you always say, no, you get your sister to help me. You get your sister to help me. Or wait till my sisters come before. I'm like, man, you think I felt like I'm a rapist or something like that? You don't want to be alone with your dad? I try to, ever since you was a kid, take you out for ice cream, this and that, but you never wanted to, you want your sister to be present? I never understood that. But now I know, because their mom planted these seeds in their head. Now they begin to understand somewhat. Now they're much older. They live on their own. And my son told me, well, which there's going to be another video too, because I'm going to interview him. how did it affect the kids when the father leave the home? That's a whole nother podcast. Excuse me. And he said, yeah. Well, you'll hear that part when he do it. I don't want to put words in his mouth at all, but I'm letting him tell it for yourself. But I love my children. I love all of them. I even love my stepkids too. But just me and their mom just didn't see eye to eye. So she always thought I was cheating. Always thought I was cheating. Always thought I was cheating. Like, dude, all I do is go to work and come home. That's another video too about, if you watch my TikTok video called Does It Matter? I got a whole thing about that because I was in my feelings. I had flashbacks. I was in my feelings because all the sacrifices I've done for you to tell me if I'm cheating, it didn't mean nothing. Do you realize the sacrifices I've done? I have over $50,000 in my 401k account that I was saving way before I even met you, that I depleted it to support you. Now I don't have nothing? I'm starting all over at the age of 50 years old? Have nothing? Oh man. Watch my TikTok video called Does It Matter? And I'm going to be talking about that too on my podcast, Does It Matter? You know. And I don't know what I'm doing on this thing, so I'm doing the best I can do with the little time that I have to do it. But anyway, yes, I've made a lot of sacrifices for my kids and my stepkids. Now, they all pretty much grown except two. Well, she had three at the time. You know, she about to have a fourth one. All this time, only one of them reached out to me still. The one I always had our one-on-ones with, we had a lot of one-on-ones. He told me, now he got about to be a father's own. He said, Maurice, I don't care what nobody say, you always gonna be in my life. And you always gonna be in my son's life. And that made me feel appreciated. That made me feel loved. And I would do anything for him. I got him his first car. I didn't teach him how to drive because he already knew how to drive. But I bought him his first car, you know. But that made me feel good. The other one, I don't hear from him. The other one, he said, Pops, thanks for being there for me, because whenever I wake up, you was there. He always stood up for me when other people try to talk against me. So, oh man, y'all. So yeah, I appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. You know, and I know kids gonna be loyal to their moms and all that, but person like me as a stepdad, like how do you be a stepdad like that? Either I have control or I don't have control. And maybe don't want to be a stepdad no more. I'm 50 years old now, y'all. I want to enjoy life. I want the type of queen that's going to allow me to run this household. Because if I run this household, we're going to be running to money. We're going to run into prosperity, joy, happiness, all the above. I know God, I love the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not never saying I never will proclaim to be perfect. I don't claim Christianity because Christianity is a broad statement. Catholic, Lutheran, Presbyterian, Apostolic, Church of God in Christ, Baptist, all these things like that, because they have a different belief system. But I say I'm spiritual. I believe in the way that Christ taught, and that's how to live a pleasing life to God. All right, that's what I believe in. That's what I claim. And so being a leader, we make mistakes at times, true, because I'm following God. I'm trying to follow God the best way I know how. But I don't need my woman at home to come against me about things. I need you to help me, to support me. All right? I believe in saving. I believe in making plans for us. You know, sometimes you just have to do without. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I'm not an alcoholic. I go to work, I come home. I'm not a gamer. I gave up the streets when I started having kids, because I started saying to myself, I had to be an example of how I want my kids to be. I can't expect my kids to be doctors or lawyers, and they see me laying up with womenized and all these women around me like they're smoking weed in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in that. I never believed in that. And if y'all have a family member coming around smoking weed, smelling like weed in front of my kids, then you can't come here like that. You got to come here correct. Don't come here in front of my little bitty kids smoking weed, smelling like weed, because they curious. They can look at I remember one of them said, I want to be like my uncle. Yeah, he a player. He got the money. He dressed down nice. He got all the girls. You know how boys be. No, I have to be an example. So I don't allow on anybody in my house like that. Come to my house correct. Don't sit on the edge of my couch like that. You're going to mess my couch up. Sit on the couch yourself. You just can't just go on my refrigerator as you see fit because you're a relative. Now, me and my brother and sister, before we had family like that. We did that to each other because we didn't have nobody in the home like that. But far as me leading a family, there's rules to follow. I'm the protector. I'm the leader. I'm the provider. And keep in mind, doing all this as a stepdad at the beginning, it was only my income. My kids depended on me. My stepkid, you know, the one I'm with, depended on me because they didn't have an income. It was only my income. I'm not making a whole lot of money. I just can't get your kids the best of shoes. And my kids need shoes too. So I had to make this dollar stretch. So I neglected myself to help everybody. And I granted, being a stepdad, the mom tried to help me out with too. But at the time, my kids are unappreciative. She went boosting and got my kids a bag of clothes. And because of their mom, well, she should have got you this. She should have got you that. I said, dude, you're unappreciative. This didn't come from me. This came from her. My stepkid's mom. This came from her, not from me. She seen me struggling. She did the best she can do to help me support my kids. But my kid's mom was bitter. That she should have got you this. Well, send it back. Tell her to go get you this size. Dude, I said, you so unappreciative. It's so unappreciative, y'all. And I'm just speaking the facts. I'm speaking the truth. You know? So, anyway, my time about to be up. I can go on and on about this here. It's very emotional for me. But I really appreciate you listening. Don't forget, if you want to be involved in this show here and tell your story, you can just comment on here. Yes, you want to tell my story. I give you a phone number to call in because I can go live. Or I don't have to go live. I can just record it, put the microphone up. Put the speaker up to the microphone. Let you tell your part of the story about it. And tell me your story. Because I'm transparent. I'm not saying I'm always right. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. However, if you can say that's what I didn't mean, something I could have done better, or if I was just wrong, let me know, because that's how I learn. That's how I learn. I take advice from elders, you know, and I apply my knowledge. I'm always on a way on this journey to help better myself. All right. So my email is mopodtalks@gmail.com. That's MOEGALKS, mopodtalks. Well, MOEPODTALKS, mopodtalks@gmail.com. My mouth dry, I can't hardly talk. You know, I hate listening to myself. Sound so country. Anyway, join my TikTok, Mo Love You. It's MOELUV, Mo Love You. That's my TikTok. I got another one. I got like 3 pages. The other one called Mo Poems. I'm a poet, and I'm gonna be talking about the poetry I just wrote too. I put it on TikTok one time, but they banned it, sort of like they muted it because it's pretty deep. Talking about our oppressors and stuff like that. But I'm gonna recite it on here, then I'm gonna talk about it on one of my podcasts. But thanks for tuning in. Please leave a comment, subscribe to me, share. This is real life, real talk, real discussion.